Today is the 23rd of September 2024. This will be our 7th video on graphs, quadratic graphs, okay? And we'll look at manipulations. It was a very, very long break. I wasn't expecting to be away for that long, but at times you just have to take care of other things so that you can have the concentration to do what you want to do. Okay, please subscribe. Okay, I've said this over and over again in other videos, so I'm not going to say it a lot more. Beware of scammers. Okay, now the last video we did, okay, watch it for recap. Okay, the videos I make is, if you watch it from the beginning, you realize that it's we do a topic, and then when we finish we go on to other topic, and then if I realize that I have to go back and add for the higher group, then I add more. Okay, but I differentiate those and I say those to you. Okay, in the last video we drew this graph y equals 2x squared minus 4x minus 1, and it opens upwards. It's a parabola. And we also said that if the x squared is positive, then it will open upwards. If it's negative, then it will open downwards. So we've been looking at this. Today we are going to continue with the graph work. And then we will leave it there and do other and continue. Okay, so far I don't see anything interrupting me, so God willing I might come on at Monday to Friday as I used to do. Okay, but if I'm interrupted, then I'll have to put up a message as I did that, and then when I'm okay, then I would upload more for you. Okay, today's starter. Okay, all the graphs I draw, the right angle triangles, most of them are not to scale. If they are to scale, I'll let you know. Okay, so we are going to recap on right angle triangles and angles. Okay, that will be our starter for today. Okay, these are things that you expect students to just grasp, but it's funny that at times you will teach this and then you meet a student or in a group, they don't get it. Okay, so at times repetition helps. Somebody will say, oh, I do understand, but think about the people who don't understand. Okay, it's not this platform is not for one person, it's for everybody. Everybody should be able to come in here. It's like the library. you should be able to go to the library and pick what you want to read. Okay, so yeah, so you should be able to come here and say that I understand this, but I need a lot more clarification on this topic, and then you go for it. Or I want to resit, so I'm going to revise all the topic, look at the questions, the past questions, and then use that to prepare, including what I already have. So I'll start. This is a right angle triangle because of this 90 degrees here. If you want to find A, we know that all the angles should add up to 180. So if this is 90, then A plus B should be equal to 35. So if A plus B is 90, A is 55 degrees, okay? Degrees as an angle, not in temperature. So that if you add it, it will add up to 90. The second one, this is also a right angle triangle. That is, if you turn it that way, it's a right angle triangle. Okay, we've discussed this. It's your exam paper, okay, or it's your work. So, however you turn it to understand it, do that. That tells me it's a right angle triangle. So B plus 41 should be equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so B now is 49. So B is 49 degrees here. Okay, always remember your units. Now see, this is also a right angle triangle because this side is 90. If you don't see this and they write 90 degrees, it's still the same thing. 65 plus C should be 90. Okay, so now 65, C should be 25. So that 65, 25 plus 90 will give you 180. Okay. So this is the start I have for you. Okay, we are linking today to our last video. Okay, so we've been doing quadratic graphs. Okay, so we are extending our work on curved graphs, that is the parabola or the quadratic graph. A quadratic graph can be used to solve slightly different equation by adding a straight line to the equation and finding the point of intersection, or where the line and graph meets or cross. Okay, we've done similar stuff before. Okay, so in what previous videos, I think there was even a past paper that we did on this, but I'm going to show you this one. So we are going to draw the equation of the line y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3. This x squared is positive 1x squared. So the graph is going to open upwards. So if I start drawing it, and the graph open downwards, then it means that I have made a mistake in finding the coordinates. So you quickly go back and check. Okay, if it's homework, it's good, but if it's exams, you don't want that happening to you in an exam. Sadly, results they come September, you start all over again. So there are people who when you get 10 last year, now they're year 11. Okay, so you don't have that time to waste. After Christmas, January, February, March, you start doing your mock exams. Okay, so take your work seriously. So consider the graph x squared or the equation x squared y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay. Draw a table for this for x from minus 1 to 5. So they've given you an interval. So you use that interval. Okay. If they haven't given you an interval, then you use a reasonable interval. But if they've given you an interval, then you use what they've given you in the question. Okay, so now to find the coordinates, normally it's easier to do the table. So these are your x: minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now from the equation, first we'll do x squared, that one. So that is x squared. So if x is that, x squared will be 1. For 0, it will be 0. For 1, it will be 1. 2, it will be 4. 3, it will be 9. 4, it will be 16. 5, it will be 25. Okay, now we've done x squared. The next one is 4x, and then we'll negate it. So we'll do 4x squared, 4x first, and then we'll negate it. So 4 times everything here. Okay, so 4x squared minus 1. 4 minus 4 for minus 1. 0 for 0. 4 for 1. 8 for 2. 12 for 3. 16 for 4. And 20 for 5. So as we've got 4x, we are going to negate it. So the negative of 4x becomes 4, 0 minus 4, 8 minus 8, minus 12, minus 16, minus 20. Okay. Now the last part of the equation is plus 3. So we are going to write plus 3 and repeat it for all these. Okay, all the column. Now we want 4x squared. So we want x squared. So this figure is here, that one. Then we want minus 4x. So this is minus 4. So we want that. And then we want plus 3. This is plus 3. Okay. So we want 1, 2, 3. So 1 plus 4 plus 3 is 8. So when x is minus 1, y is When x is minus 1, y is 8. So that will be our first coordinate. Okay. When x is 1, y is 0. Because we have 1 minus 4, which is 3, which is minus 3 plus 3, which is 0. When x is 2, y will be minus 1. Okay, just follow it. So 4 minus 8, so minus 4 plus 3 minus 1. When x is 3, y is 0. When x is 4, y is 3. When x is 5, 1 is 8. You can't go wrong. Okay, so this is the table. Okay, you can't go and do it by yourself. So after this, I normally encourage you to write the coordinates. So from the table, you have a coordinate minus 1, 8, 0, 3, 1, 0, 2 minus 1, 3, 0, 4, 3, and 5, 8. Okay, now this is what you are going to plot on your graph. So on the graph, on the graph paper, draw y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3 in the interval. So the same coordinates you've got there, you are going to use it to draw the graph. So that's the next question. So I've drawn the graph for you here. Okay, my graph has a title. Okay, my graph has a title. A graph of y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay, and today is 23 of September 2024. Okay, so because of that, I have this reference. Okay, now the graph that I have just drawn, a graph of x squared minus 4x plus 3. So this is the graph. Okay, that's the first part of the equation. So I've just done the coordinates, use the coordinates to draw the parabola with the free hand. Okay, if you have a string, you can try a string. You can try and use that, okay, or something very flexible. But if not, you have to use your free hand. And you should try that it's not disjointed, okay? Okay, so I think mine appears okay because I drew it with the free hand and it opens upwards. By now you should know how to plot coordinates. If not, go back and watch the videos that we learned how to plot coordinates. Okay, so that is the first part. We've done the parabola, we've drawn the graph. Okay, so now we've used the coordinate to draw the graph. Now from this graph, find the solution of x minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. You remember the quadratic equation, okay? But here, they're asking us to use the graph. So we are going to use the graph So where y is 0, the parabola will cut the x-axis. So if you see on the parabola, y is 0 here, and y is 0 there. Okay, so 1 0 3 0. So x is 1 and 3. Okay, for this parabola to be 0, x should be 1 and is 3. And if you put x is 1 and 3 in the equation, the graph, the line that you did will be 0. Okay, so let's look at it. So if x is 1, 1 squared minus 4x, which is 1, plus 3, it will be 0. When x is 3, 9 squared minus 12 plus 3, which is also 0. So that is what we just found on the graph. By drawing an appropriate linear graph, solve the equation 5 minus x plus 5 equals 0. So you've drawn y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. So they're asking you now, use the graph that you've drawn to solve this a quadratic equation. So we will have to manipulate this equation to look like this, okay, plus something. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. So here, you don't have to draw another graph and equate it to 0 and find it on the graph. You are going to use the graph you've drawn. Okay, so we are going to change x squared minus 5x plus 5 equals 0 to become x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0 plus something. Okay, so look at it. We have, as we look at this equation, we start adjusting the new equation. So x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. Okay, that is what we've drawn. And this is the new quadratic graph. So we have x squared, 5 minus 5x. We can write it as minus 4x minus x. 5, we can write it as plus 3 plus 2 equals 0, because we want to find use this graph. Okay, so now what we've done is 4x minus 4x plus 3. Now what is left is minus x plus 2 equals 0. So if we move minus x and plus 2 to this side, we have x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals x minus 2. Okay, so now if we draw a graph of y equals x minus 2 on this parabola that we've drawn, where they intersect, where they cut themselves, will be our solution to x squared minus 5x plus 5 equals 0. Okay, so we will draw a linear graph y equals x minus 2 on our graph x squared minus 4x plus 3. So here It's easy to do. When y is 0, x is what? And when x is 0, y will be what? And then we can use other whole numbers. Okay, so we can use when x is 2. So I've done x4, x2, and x0. So when x is 4, y will be 2. That will be our first coordinate. And when x is 2, y will be 0. And when x is 0, y will be -2. Try and be in the intervals they've given you for x so that you don't need an extension deadline. Okay? If you do that, it will help you a lot. So you plot this graph using the line graph using these coordinates. Okay, so now if you look at my graph way, okay, I've labeled it a graph of y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3 and y equals -2. Because when I saw the question, I realized that the last bit, I need to manipulate it so that I can draw a linear graph and where the cuts will be my. So this is the first part of the equation where I drew the parabola. Okay, the opening upwards, and this is my line y equals x minus 2. Okay, when I broke the equation down, this equation I was given. So this would be the first answer, and that would be the second answer. Okay, so when you look at it carefully, after drawing the graph, x is about 1.4 and 3.6 on the graph, not by calculation. So if you look at it, 1.4, that is x. Okay, that is because they are all on the positive side. That is the negative of y. So we have 1.4. We have 1.4 and 3.6. So that is about 1.4. Okay, by my scale, and that is about 3.6. Okay, just a little above 3.5. So I put 3.6. Okay. If you are, they will give you a margin, so you don't want to go beyond that. Okay, but if you look at it from, because this graph is a freehand, it might not be accurate if I do it on the computer. Okay, so there you go. So now, just by manipulating this equation here, x squared minus 5x plus 5 equals 0, and then into the first parabola I drew and an extra bit of a linear equation, I can draw another straight line, impose it on the first graph, so I don't have to draw another parabola, and then use that to solve this equation here. Guess by giving you where the graph meets, which will be your answer. Okay, so there you go. This is what I have for you today. This was what I was going to present anyway. Okay, so watch last video and then continue from there. Okay, this will be the next video. um, Thank you for watching today's video with me, and I'll see you in the next one.